For the better part of a century, one rule held the executive car world together. It was never written down, but everyone obeyed it. To own greatness, you had to pay a tax on the badge, a tax on the heritage, a tax on a story about a factory in Stuttgart, and a bloodline of motorsport that you, the buyer, were allowed to borrow for the price of a small house. The Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo was the purest expression of that rule. A long-roofed, low-slung electric grand tourer that asked for the thick end of 6 figures and made you feel grateful for the privilege. For years, that car stood unchallenged, defended not by physics, but by reputation, by the sheer gravitational pull of a crest on a bonnet. That rule is now dead. And the machine that executed it does not come from Germany. It comes from a joint venture between SAIC, one of the largest car makers on Earth, and Huawei, the company that the West tried to bury and only made stronger. They call it the Shangjie Z7T. It is a shooting brake. It is electric. It wears almost 900 kilometers of range and the silicon brain of a telecom superpower. And it costs roughly a quarter of the Porsche. It was built to humiliate. Welcome to Drive and RPM. Today we are not reviewing a car. We are conducting a post-mortem on an entire business model. We are going to strip away the marketing, ignore the badge, and look directly at the metal, the chemistry, and the code to understand exactly how a company in China built a car that matches the Taycan on the road, beats it on the spec sheet, and then sells it for the price of a base model family SUV. By the time we are finished, you will understand why the most expensive thing on a Porsche is no longer the engineering. It is the apology you pay for the name. Let us start where every great grand tourer is supposed to win, the powertrain. Because this is where the European order has always told you that decades of pedigree simply cannot be bought overnight. The Z7T did not get that memo. Buried beneath the floor sits a battery that Huawei has named, with zero subtlety, the giant whale. It is wrapped around an 800-volt high-voltage architecture, the same elite electrical bracket that, until very recently, was reserved for cars wearing crests and price tags to match. Depending on the variant, you are sitting on either an 81 or a 100 kilowatt-hour pack, and the top configuration pushes the range to a staggering 905 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. Read that number again. This is a low, wide, performance shooting brake that will, on paper, cross most of a country before it asks for a socket. But range is comfort. What about violence? The single motor car already produces 354 horsepower. Step up to the dual motor, all-wheel drive version, and the combined output climbs to 582 horsepower, hurling this 2-ton estate from a standstill to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.44 seconds. Let that settle. A practical wagon with a boot big enough to swallow a family's life, accelerating hard enough to make a driver's stomach drop, and doing it in near silence, with the instant, unhesitating shove that only a high-voltage electric drivetrain can deliver. Now place that against the thing it was designed to kill. The Porsche's reputation was built on the idea that this kind of effortless speed was the product of obsessive German calibration that nobody else could replicate. The Z7T does not replicate it, it bypasses it entirely, using raw electrical architecture and a battery named after a sea monster to deliver the same sensation, the same brutal, seamless surge, without the heritage surcharge baked into every kilowatt. The performance pedigree of the European executive car has just been revealed for what it really is, a number, and numbers can be matched. But straight-line speed is the cheap trick. Any company with a big enough battery can build something fast. The true cathedral of European engineering, the thing the marketing department swore could never be cloned, was the chassis, the way a great GT breathes with the road. And it is here, in the dark space beneath the bodywork, that the Z7T performs its most quietly devastating act. There is no traditional mechanical hierarchy of hydraulic valves and heavy anti-roll bars, fighting the laws of physics in real time. Instead, the Z7T runs the Huawei XMC intelligent chassis on the tooling platform, a centralized digital brain that governs torque vectoring, traction stability, and adaptive steering as a unified system. The suspension is no compromise either. A double wishbone setup at the front, a sophisticated 5-link axle at the rear, all floating on air suspension that can stiffen, soften, and rebalance the car faster than a human being can blink. Here is the part that should genuinely unsettle Stuttgart. The car's roof-mounted 896-line image-grade LiDAR is not just there to watch for pedestrians. It is constantly painting a high-resolution, 3-dimensional map of the tarmac ahead. When that laser eye spots a pothole, a ridge, a thermal crack in the road surface 100 meters before you reach it, the air suspension pre-charges its actuators to absorb the blow before the tire ever touches it. The car is reading the road like sheet music and playing the comfort in advance. A traditional analog chassis can only react to the impact after it has already happened. The Z7T deletes the impact from history. This is the moment the old religion dies. For 50 years, the European masters told you that feel was a soul, an intangible magic poured into a car by craftsmen who had been doing it for generations. The Z7T proves that feel was always just data, pitch, roll, and yaw, calculated thousands of times a second by a chip that never gets tired, never has an off day, and never charges you extra for the privilege. The analog's chassis isn't outperformed here. It is made obsolete. Now open the long, frameless door, drop into the cabin, and watch the second half of the ambush unfold. Because luxury, the West always insisted, was the last redoubt, the one thing money and heritage could still buy that an upstart could not fake. The first thing that betrays the game is at the rear of the car, where the Z7T wears the Star River taillight. Until now, that piece of jewelry was reserved exclusively for the Maestro S800, a flagship limousine that cost the equivalent of a small flat, and the most expensive 9 Series cars in the entire Huawei ecosystem. The Z7T is the first car outside that elite tier to be granted it. In other words, the most prestigious lighting signature in the family has just trickled down into a $33,000 estate. The hierarchy that justified the price ladder has been quietly demolished from the inside. Step in further and the theater continues. At the front, the headlamps hide 408 individually laser-etched points that ignite into a constellation when lit. Inside, you face a HarmonySpace cockpit, the same software DNA that runs Huawei's flagship phones, driving a 4D sunflower screen that physically swivels and tilts to face the driver, a dedicated display for the passenger, a streaming digital rear-view mirror, and soft closing doors that pull themselves shut with a gentle finality of a vault. The passenger rides in a zero-gravity seat. There is even a small, sunken, magnetic shelf on the passenger side, designed for nothing more serious than displaying a treasured object, a tiny human touch in a machine built by a telecoms giant. And here is the masterstroke that the low-roof Porsche could never answer. This is a shooting brake. Fold the rear seats and you are looking at 1,694 liters of cargo space. You do not choose between the drama of a coupe and the usefulness of an estate. You do not sacrifice the dog, the pram, the flat-pack furniture, or the airport run on the altar of style. The Z7T hands you the silhouette of a $130,000 Grand Tourer, the boot of a practical wagon, and the interior tech of a flagship phone, and refuses to charge you for any of the three. So let us do the one piece of arithmetic that the European marketing machine has spent a generation praying you would never sit down and actually perform. In its home market, a base Porsche Taycan asks for somewhere around the equivalent of £130,000. The Shangjie Z7T asks for roughly a quarter of that. Put plainly, for the price of a single Taycan, You could park 3, possibly 4 of these in your driveway. And the uncomfortable truth, the one that ends careers in product planning meetings, is that the Z7T does not feel like a quarter of the car. It outranges the Porsche. It runs the same elite 800-volt architecture. It carries a self-driving sensor suite the Taycan can only dream of, a digital chassis that reads the road before you reach it, flagship lighting borrowed from a car 10 times its price, and a boot that actually works. When you stop looking at the badges and start looking at the bill of materials, the conclusion becomes violent in its simplicity. The Porsche was never worth 4 Z7Ts. It was worth 1 Z7T, plus an enormous, invisible tax. A tax on a story, on a crest, on a century of being told that greatness must be expensive to be real. The Shangjie Z7T is the receipt that finally itemizes that tax in full. And once a buyer has seen the itemized bill, the badge can never charge full price again. This is not merely a new car launch. It is a death certificate, signed in silicon and laser light, for the single most profitable idea the European car industry ever invented. The belief that the name on the bonnet is worth more than the engineering beneath it. The badge is dead. China just held the funeral. Thank you for watching Drive and RPM. If you want forensic, no-nonsense teardowns of the machines that are rewriting the rules, hit subscribe and tell me below, the Shangjie Z7T or the Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo? Which one would you actually park in your driveway? We'll see you in the next analysis.